This is Clarity Coach Lucy, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome to the series called Abundance of April. April is a time for growth. April is a time for new beginnings. April is a time for abundance. I should know it is my birthday month. So welcome. This is episode 2, and episode 2 is about creating a positive change. And when we look at life right now, when we're looking at what growth is all about, it's about putting that one foot in front of another, so that we can move on from where we are. Whatever our situation is, growth is to be able to move forward, not backwards. So in this series where we have the Abundance of April series, we've got 4 episodes, and in these 4 episodes it's all about stretching you beyond your comfort zone so that you can grow, so that you have a reason to take one step and another step and another step, and before you know it, you are already reaching your goals. You're already reaching somewhere. You have something to talk about. You have an assurance that you have achieved something. If nothing at all, you have achieved that essence of moving forward. You are not standing still. So in our first episode, which was about enhancing your growth or enhancing your personal growth, there were 2 areas that I brought to light. And one of them was doing things differently. That just suggested that having a different perspective on that same mundane task, that same mundane routine that you have over and over again, it can get boring. It can get really boring. So you need to spice up your life so that you remain motivated, so that you can grow. Because when you are motivated, you want to get up tomorrow morning and do it all over again. And you know that life is going to throw, works, spanners, everything at you. But here we are, another day to live, another day to be able to achieve the things that we dream to achieve. And therefore, when we are doing things differently and having that perspective, that different perspective on that same mundane task, we are learning things. And our minds are beautiful things. Because once you learn something, chances of unlearning are just that little. Because you've learned, you've expanded your mind. And because we are curious beings, whether we still are as adults, but we are born as curious beings, we're going to want to know what else, what next, what's the next step, how far can I go, how far can I push this envelope. That's who we are. So this is growth because we are doing things differently. So I gave you the example last week, if you stir your tea in one direction, try stirring it in the opposite direction. Use a different side of your brain, Look at how the tea swirls in a different way. Consider those options and just go with it. Be curious. Don't overthink it. Just do it today. And if you did not do it since our last episode, I encourage you to think of that simple, mundane task that you have of every day and do it differently. Remember, mine was about walking. I love to do my walks, and I really must confess they've fallen off the wayside a little bit, but I love my walks. So I have specific routes that I take. So choosing to cross the road at a different place is just bringing a little bit of change and doing it differently. In my books, what does that do to me? It allows me to open up my mind to different things that are on the road. Maybe I will see a different flower. Maybe I will hear a different bird. Maybe I'll realize this is the best place to cross than where I've been crossing before. Maybe I'll enjoy the gravel at my feet, or the tarmac, or the maram, something I never experienced before. The goal is still the same. I'm going to do a whole turn and get back home. But the route that I took was different. What I did on this route was different. And this has got to be exciting. That was one thing we discussed last week. The other one was your intuition. And I took you through learning to identify that feeling, that gut feeling, that sixth sense. And walking up to the point where you are trusting. You are trusting this intuition, so that it is not about hindsight, and being, it's about you saying, aha, I have this feeling right now. but I have this research I have done. I have everything on the table now, and now I'm using my intuition to make that final decision. Making intuition part of your life is one way to enhance your personal growth. But enough about last episode, and if you would love to listen to more, make sure that you go on to my YouTube page, which is LMC Consultancy, and you will get episode 1. The other episodes are around creating a positive change. We'll be talking about that today. Motivational thoughts. What thoughts are you thinking? Why are they motivational? What do they do for you? Are they sustainable? Where did they come from? Well, that's just a sneak peek, and you need to be here in the next episode to see that. And then we wrap it all by living on autopilot. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? So today we seek abundance by creating a positive change. That suggests one. I just would love for you to leave this session today having made one shift. Just one shift that is positive. And I've got 3 tips today that I would love to share with you. You see, there are times in our lives where we feel stuck. Many times that we feel stuck. Some of you, it's just a few times. Others don't even realize that they feel stuck. They just have this feeling of they're not aligned. They're frustrated. They're anxious. They're stuck. They cannot move, and therefore that proverbial foot that I said, one in front of another, is not easy to do at this point because you're just stuck. So if you have been reaching out to do something new and you've decided, let's take an example. This is the 4th month of the year, and from January you had decided that your New Year's resolution, you're going to do things in a different way. And you've been doing so well for the first 3 months, and then comes April, and then suddenly it's either bored you to death or you have seen other people doing different things, so you're suffering from fear of missing out. So you're already being challenged by what your thoughts are. Whatever it is, you're stuck. And in that feeling of being stuck, you don't have the motivation, because when you are stuck, you're concentrating on being stuck, the lack of moving forward or being able to. You're incapable of doing this. So you cannot think of a bright idea of how to get out of it. Yeah? So we need to help ourselves in creating a positive change in our life. Because although we are lacking this motivation, it's the situation that's making us unhappy. The situation that we are in. We can remove ourselves, like an out-of-body experience, and look at the situation and asking for a friend, like I like to say, what should I do in this situation? This is one way to just give you a jump start and move you from that point. And we are cognizant that at times we're not even aware that we are stuck. But here I would advise you to listen, like we say, read the room. Read the room, and you realize that nothing has shifted. There's been no action plans going on here. There's been no creativity. Or listen to what people are saying. Is there writing on the wall? Are people saying to you, Lucy, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. Lucy, what's happening? We need to have some life and some oomph into this. So that brings us to our first tip of today, which is recalibration. So when you are recalibrating, you are taking what you have here now, your present, and like you're taking it apart. You are unpacking it, so to speak. You are looking at it from a different aspect, and you're trying to understand it from your situation of today. Because we are aware that the same thing could have happened to us a year, 2 years, 10 years ago. But our response is very different. I can say to you for a fact that today, rejection feels very different for me. Yet a few years back, I thought that was the end of the world for me. I responded to, whoa, that's it, finished, I'm done. Today, I look at rejection as an opportunity. When did this shift happen? It happened with experience. It happened with choices that I made along the way. And I'd love for you to experience these choices. One way to do this is to recalibrate. And if you look up the meaning of recalibration, whoa, my tongue went all over the place, recalibration, it will give you that essence of looking at where you are and rethinking, if you could redo this, what would it be? Giving it oomph, new life, like a shot in the arm. That's what we're doing. So one place to start is in our lives. Look at some simple areas in your lives that are important. Is it one area, 2 areas, 3 areas? Well, get as many as you can, because all these areas, you are a sum of these areas. You are the constant thing in all these areas. So you're wondering, what are these areas? Okay, let's just jump into it. So is it your spirituality, if that's what's important to you? Is it your finances, if that's what's important to you? Is it your relationships? Is it your career? Is it your fitness? What is it? Is it your fun times? Is it your hobbies? Is it your family? What is it for you that is important? Just jot them down. Don't overthink it. Do it right now if you can. Do it right now. Capture that moment. Just write them down. At least have 5. Because 2, 3, 4 are not enough. 5. And let's move on to about 8 of them. Just highlight them. Remind yourself, these are the important areas of my life. By tomorrow, you'll a shift. There'll be a shift, and these areas will begin to kind of move away and others moving in. But right now, you've started it. So you create these areas. Remember, we are recalibrating. We are revisiting self. And what we feel is a priority. That's what we're revisiting. Some things will leave the room. Some things will stay. Other things will come through the door. Allow this to happen. This is the beauty of growth. Because what was so important to me yesterday may not be important to me today. Maybe because I've grown out of it. Maybe because I've transcended into something else. Maybe because I've understood it wasn't serving me well. And therefore I'm saying no to it so that I can say yes to something else. So while you have these things with you now, these are now your balls. These are important things in your life that you need to keep on throwing up in the air. Think of a score out of 10 for each ball. Think of a score. If it's your career, where are you right now with your career? Give it a score. If it's your spirituality, where are you out of 10? 10 is the best, yeah? So where are you with your spirituality today? If it is about you taking care of self-care, where are you with self-care? Where are you with your family? You get the gist right now. Now that you give yourself a score, understand what that score means. Why did you go with a 5 out of 10 for money? What does it mean? You need to write it down, because already you're moving something from your mind onto paper. And it is said statistically that things happen in 2 places. They happen first in the mind, and then they happen either what you would say on paper or in life in real time. So something can stay in your mind, and that's where it'll stay forever, and nothing will happen. You'll find yourself talking about the same thing over and over again, and your peers have moved on. So they've grown. There's no abundance in just talking about your dreams. The abundance is in you creating a positive change in your life by moving what is in your head down to a piece of paper and making it into an action. So now you have given meaning to those scores. You've got 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 2 out of 10. I hope you don't have a 0 out of 10. But whatever your lowest score is, this is now where there's an opportunity for growth. It is obvious, or maybe not, but let me just finish my thought process. It is obvious that when there's a high score, there are some stakes there that are working to your favor. Most probably, there are things that you love doing. There are things that come easy. You don't think about it. It's a gift that you have that you do without thinking. It's something you can do for free. For instance, what I'm doing right now always scores high because I do this naturally. I love doing this. I look forward to this time when I am speaking to you. And at times I don't have anybody watching me or listening, but I'm here imparting this knowledge, and then I am putting it onto my YouTube, and it will live way beyond me, long past my life. And for me, that is fulfilling, knowing that I have a gift that I can share. And I can do it for free. For these particular episodes, I do them for free. But then I do charge when I'm in a classroom, whether on virtual or in person. So there you have it. Now you understand that the higher the score, the easier it is to achieve. Because that means there are things that by default are working to your favor. So just look at the lowest score and pick it up. And let that be your area for improvement. Let that be the opportunity for you to grow. Let that be the place where you create a positive change. Positive change meaning that these numbers will go up. And why? It is in the little things that you're going to do that are going to inform and push these numbers up. I would love to hear about these numbers and how it is that they have worked out for you. So when you determine which area has the lowest number, you begin to figure out how to work on it. And then we move on to you just figuring out what you want to do and how you want to do it. This brings in my second point, which is laser focus. Now that we know what the goal is, perhaps we were dreaming, we woke up, we're putting that thought down on paper, and now we can see what it is. We've identified it. We want to determine action steps. Because it's another thing to say, I want to have a healthy life. Now I'm talking about your choices of what you ingest. So that could be it. I want to have a healthy life. Of course, there's more to that. That particular statement needs to be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. That way it is sustainable. But if I just say that I want to have a nutrition full life, what's happening to my tongue today? I want to have a healthy lifestyle today. It doesn't mean anything if there are no actions, attached to it. And this is what is important. This makes the difference between the intention and the execution. And this maybe is what is happening to you in this month of April. In that you're finding in the first 3 months, you had the intention and you were going and you were gunning it. And come the 4th month, you suddenly have no motivation. You don't feel inclined to do what it is that you're doing all the time. And as a result of that, you quit. So I'm stopping you from quitting. I'm putting it right there that this is a great thing that you have. All you have to do is apply steps to your goal, whatever it is. So for the sake of our session today, let's go with I want a healthy life. Let's put it that way. So I want a healthy life is my goal. Like I said, my disclaimer, it really needs to be smart. So you need to be specific about your healthy life. You need to be specific about your timeline. You need to be specific how you're going to measure it. That way it's sustainable. But that's a story for another day. So here we are. And maybe the steps now that I would put down would be to have this healthy life. I would like to have breakfast with my family because it is said that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. What we put into our bodies when we wake up, what it does to our bodies and then how it sets us up for the rest of the day is very important. So it is said that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So what will your breakfast look like? You have the goals, the steps that you put down need to be practical. You need to walk this path of what that breakfast looks like. So perhaps there's other steps that come there. You need to find out from your family, what do they love to eat? Maybe as a result, they want to eat at a specific time and certain quantities. But why? What is the why behind you wanting to have a healthy lifestyle? Maybe something happened and there was a scare, a health scare. And you can choose to stay in that situation and become a victim and say that, oh, it wasn't my fault, it's my DNA, my parents are in this way, my family has got this illness, it's with me, there's nothing I can do, or the doctors have misdiagnosed my condition, or what are the doctors talking about? You're just being a victim. You know that. It's your life. You need to make a decision. So you're not well. Can you use this as an opportunity to have a better life? Yes. And maybe this is where you come up with this game plan, I beg your pardon, that you want a healthy life. So now we have decided we want a healthy life. What does it mean? We've chosen a gift. We have not chosen to stick our head in the sand, hoping that if I stick my head in the sand, I will heal and it's going to be okay. There's that option, but you don't want to go that way. You want to be a creator of solutions. You want to be a creator. You want to be an innovator. You want to be somebody who is creative. So back to I want to lead a healthy life, or I want a healthy life. And one of the actions is that I want to be having breakfast with my family. So you've got to work around that. Number one, tell your family this is the plan so that they're there for breakfast. Important. Number two, see what your family loves to eat. See what they love to eat. Number three, what nutritional value can you add to what they are eating, or what can you remove that is not of nutritional value? What supplements can you add? So your shopping list or your market list, you can tell I'm from the hospitality industry, yeah? Your market list then is different. It's not something you are guessing. So now, not only do you know what you want out of life, because you have looked at the different areas of life, you have picked the lowest scoring area of your life, and you've put a goal to it, to that 5 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. And now you actually have action plans. But the situation that is making you unhappy is perhaps the health scare that you had. But you don't stay there. You choose a gift, the opportunity. So my question to you today is, where is your focus? What situation are you facing today that is keeping you so down under, that you feel you're not motivated to move on, that you just feel it is finished, in my case when it was rejection so many years ago? What gift can come out of that situation? All you need to do is create a positive change just by you thinking. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on that gift and the opportunities that it brings to your life? Imagine all those different foods that you're going to be eating. You're going to discover new fruits. You're going to discover that the fruits have so many colors and vegetables have so many colors. You can have vegetables also during breakfast. So many things that you can learn. Your water can be infused in so many different ways for a different flavored water. You can have so many different types of teas that have got nutritional value. But if you had chosen to be a victim because you had a health scare, then that is where you would stay. So what is it that you're going through today? What is it that you can convert into a gift? Gift yourself that present for the present of today. And you will find that there will be growth, there will be abundance. So it is important to appreciate where you are today and the steps that you need to take. And this gives you motivation, taking us to the third point when we are talking about mindsets and what they are. Mindsets are predominantly two. But when you look them up, there are more. But predominantly two. There's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And though we do believe that it's either one or the other, I encourage you to be kind to yourself and have empathy and know that there are days that you will adopt a fixed mindset, and it's okay, because there will be days when you will adopt a growth mindset, and I hope there will be more days of a growth mindset than there are of a fixed mindset, because this way you open up your mind, whatever situation that you are in, that you can be able to have a creative area for you to be able to make a positive change in your life. In episode 1, we talked about doing things differently. That is a growth mindset. It doesn't mean that what you have been doing is wrong. It just means that by doing it differently, you're opening up your mind. You're learning through new things. You are unlearning the old behaviors. The route is the same. Remember my walking route? I will still get back home. But I will have taken a different route, like we say, the scenic route. And that's all symbolical, but you get what I'm trying to put across here. That we do the same thing every time, over and over again. Let's figure out a different way to do it. So when we are working on these mindsets, we know that this is the key to the abundance in our lives. Because we want these abundant Today I am having issues here with my tongue. We want the abundance in our lives because it influences what we think, how we feel. It influences our behavior in every situation. You know those people who walk into a room and the first thing that comes out of their mind is something bubbly. You want to be associated with those people. You always want to be around them. And then there's the other person who walks into the room and they're always negative. You don't want to be around that person. This is normal. So which person do you choose to be? It is your mindset. As we talk about the mindset, there is a fourth one, although I did say there were three, but there's a fourth one that is just coming to mind now. Your inner circle. Who is your inner circle? Or what is your inner circle? These are people that you choose. These are people that you choose to accompany you on this journey of life. Well, why don't you choose people who have kind of the same ideals as you have, the same goals? Choose the ones who've gone before you and the ones who are even younger than you. Because the ones going before you will mentor you. And the lessons that they have learned will help to bolster you up. Will help to give you a different perspective, or so to speak, more of an insider's lane of the things that could happen, how this could end, to grow you. And the people who are coming after you, you will mentor them, because the minute you mentor somebody, the words that you are saying, they end up being truth in your mind. Just like the mindset is that set of beliefs that you have when you're trying to understand yourself and the environment around you. So when you're mentoring somebody, you are reinforcing what your beliefs are. Because then this is you. And you are learning from them. So again, this cycle of learning and learning is forever happening. Determination is very important. Because when you are with this group of people, everybody's moving at their own pace, but we're all moving kind of in the same direction. Determination is important because that person who does not have this determination is the one who gives up, like I said earlier on. Is that person who just says, enough, I can't do this anymore. They give up. But because we're all moving in the same direction, it's like a wave. It's like now you're going to be going against the crowd or against the wave. In this instance, it's a good thing. So we're all moving in the same way. We don't want to leave anybody behind. We want to carry you with this wave. This gentleman who invented the bulb, Thomas Edison, it was 1879, he tried 700 times before he invented the bulb. If Thomas Edison did not go through this process, maybe somebody else would have invented the bulb, or would be using bulbs, a different kind of bulb or a different kind of light. 700 times. Don't give up. Just make sure that you are surrounded by people who are bolstering you up. Make sure you are learning, you have this open mind. Make sure you are looking to create that is one positive change in your life with every time that you keep on trying. So what one thing have you struggled with that you're just finding it is not working? You want to find a group of people. And although this group of people are like-minded people, amongst them you will find the naysayer, you will find the caregiver, you will find the analyst, you will find that person who is negative, or that person who always wants to see the darker side of things. You need all these characteristics at your table because it wakes you up to the truth of what it is that you are doing. And as we come to the end of this, I'm just encouraging you that a person simply needs to keep trying and not to give up. Think about Thomas Edison. This man tried 700 times, and today we are using the bulbs because of his innovation, because of the situation he was in, that he afforded himself a gift. He wanted light. And I think his first bulb showed light for about 14 or 13 hours, I'm not quite sure, but yes, and then it went off. Well, he should have walked away from it, but he didn't, so be encouraged. whatever it is that you're feeling challenged about, go back to it. And these 3 takeaways that I will always give you is, number 1, realign your priorities, because they change from day to day, maybe from year to year, maybe from decade to decade. Change it or relook it. Just recalibrate as you realign your life. Number 2, put in place an execution plan. Remember a difference between intention and execution. Be that person who has action, who defines their lives, not the person who says, I want to, and they don't apply any action to it. And third, but not least, bolster yourself up, buffer yourself up with the people that you choose. Thank you so much for being with me today. The recording of this session will be up on my YouTube by this evening, and you know the drill. When you get there, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so that you can get updates of what is happening here at LMC Consultancy. Please help us to move to 500 subscribers. We are stuck. I should be taking my own medicine right now. We are stuck. We cannot seem to just move off that one number. Let you be the number for me today. Subscribe so that I can move closer to 500. And if you've been following us, you are now aware that the Core Values Masterclass registration has closed. We start tomorrow. We run tomorrow and the day after. Look out on our social media platforms for our next Core Values Masterclass. Our next episode is going to be motivational thoughts. As I said in the beginning, what are you thinking? Is it sustainable? How does it keep you motivated to wake up the next day? Check out our website, www.lmcconsultancy.com, and let us help to build each other. Until then, be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.